Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Morius and I make art tutorials that are fun, easy, and accessible for everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use watercolor pencils. I'm using the Caron Super Color for this exercise. And then we're going to go on and we're going to draw the butterfly on the marigold flower. So I'm sketching in a butterfly wing just to show you how I'm going to go about doing this drawing. So I start out kind of like I would start out with color pencils. So I'm layering the watercolor pencils and I'm just putting in a range of values. So I've got my dark value, my mid-tone, and my light tone. Now you want to make sure that you overlap each of your layers so that you're getting a good gradient. And then we're going to go in with a paintbrush and we're going to activate the color. And you can see how vibrant these Caron Super Color pencils get when you add the water to them. So I'm going into the butterfly wing and we're going to just add a nice gradient in the wing of a monarch butterfly. I'm going to first go in with the pencils and show you how that looks, and then I'm going to go in with some actual watercolors and show you how you can get a nice detail by adding the pencil to a regular watercolor as well. So you can use these pencils on their own and activate them with water, or you can use them to get a high level of detail in your watercolor paintings. Now when you're blending with the water or activating with the water, you want to make sure that you are going from light into dark. You don't want to go into that black outline and then go back in with your wing, the yellow and orange part, because the watercolor pencils when activated will blend like a regular watercolor and you'll muddy up all your colors. So now I'm going in with some regular watercolors and I'm using a wet on wet technique to get a nice gradient on those pieces of the wing, and then we're going to let that dry. We're going to go back into our circle. I've let it dry now and I'm going back over with more pencil. So you can keep working at this, but you have to let it dry in between because watercolor pencils will activate the minute you hit water to them. So if that circle was still wet, you wouldn't be able to lay down the color as well. You'll get a sketchy effect. So now that this is dry, we're going in with some more color. And then we'll activate that again with the water. And you can see it just really richens that color up when you add the water. You really want to make sure that you have the right paper for this. You're going to need a good quality watercolor paper, something that can handle the amount of layers that you're going to put down, as well as the amount of liquid that's going to go down on the page. If you don't use a correct paper, you're going to get a lot of rumples and wrinkles, and your paper's not going to lay down flat. So you want to use a nice quality watercolor paper, something heavyweight that can handle the amount of water that you're going to put down. I'm going in with my black Super Color pencil and I'm going around what I've done with the regular watercolor, and you can see you can add a lot of detail to the drawing with the pencils that you might not be able to get as cleanly and as finely with just a watercolor brush. You can go back into these areas once they've dried or while they're still wet, and you can pick out some color. If you've put down a little too much color, go in with a clean wet brush and you can pick some of that color out. So it does work like a regular watercolor. Now we're getting into our butterfly and marigold drawing, and I'm putting a light coat down over the whole flower and trying to get some of my tones in there, just so that we can build a base and kind of map in where our colors are going to be for the rest of the drawing, so we don't get lost as we're going along. So I've used the Color watercolor pencils for this drawing. I was a little bit disappointed with their performance, so I do augment down the road with some other pencils. So there is definitely a quality difference. The Color, I found they weren't as vibrant as the Supercolor, the Caron Supercolor pencils. I was a little disappointed. They do work fine. It's just I found that you had to put down many layers to get a really vibrant tone, and I would much prefer either the Inktense or the Caron Supercolor. And you'll see as we go along, I have to put several layers down. Now you can do this with these colors. You just have to let it dry in between and then keep going in with more and more color. So you do it in layers, and you can put down the light coat and then keep going back in, let it dry, go back in with more pencil, again, let it dry. So I'm not going to put in the legs of the butterfly yet because I want to finish the flower before I do that, because with these pencils, the minute you activate them with water, you can muddy up your tones. So you want to put the legs in and kind of the body in kind of last, and this way you're not blending that black watercolor pencil into the flower part. So we're going to just keep going over and enriching all of the colors. And like I said, you do it in phases, let it dry, activate it, let it dry, keep going back in. So you really want to plan your drawing ahead of time. If you know you want to use the pencils in your piece, then plan on that. If you're looking for a more expressive watercolor, then you probably wouldn't want to use the watercolor pencils. If you're looking for more loose drawing and like using the wet on wet technique, then you just use your regular watercolors. But the pencils are really a great addition to get a lot of detail in where you want it, and you have a lot of control with the pencils because you're using such a sharp point, and you can get a lot of detail in with these pencils. So this drawing took me about 2 hours, and that's just drawing time. That doesn't include the time I had to let it dry in between all the layers. So you want to make sure that you plan on, leaving yourself enough time. And if you need to take a break, you take a break. And in this case, you have to take a break because you have to let it dry in between layers. But it was a really satisfying piece to do because it came together pretty quickly and pretty precisely. Please leave me a comment below. I love hearing from you guys, and I do get back to each and every one of you. If you've enjoyed today's tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one, and happy art!